I've been away for a while. I missed y'all. A couple things I want to talk about today. Uh, really, last week was really a tragic and shocking week for everybody, just because on the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant and the 8 other passengers in that tragic helicopter crash. So first off, I do just want to say, give my sincerest condolences to the family, the Bryant family, and it was really sad just losing Mamba, man. Like that shit really fucked me up this week. Really just had my mind in complete daze. Everybody was completely discombobulated this whole week. I really just been trying to get myself together, honestly. But if anything I took away from this, man, is to cherish your loved ones, uh, friends, family, whoever. If they're on your mind, reach out to them, send the text message, make the phone call, whatever it is, make every single day count. Uh, Kobe was he was an idol to everyone, all young kids. And me not growing up really watching Michael Jordan, Kobe was our Jordan. Him and LeBron were on this pedestal of great players that we idolized, and his Mamba mentality that he was always preaching, and he led by example. He practiced what he preached. Just being committed to excellence, being committed to greatness, being obsessed with it. Uh, you have to work. Even when people were going out to the clubs, and he would have all these stories, and I was listening to podcasts and just memorandums of Kobe all week, watching highlights. And he was just this really a great mind, student of the game, everything under the sun, man. So it just really hurt. Really emotional day for everyone involved. So this podcast, I kind of just want to talk about what the Mamba mentality means for me and how I will choose to carry on his legacy, to honor him. And it's actually really crazy for real, just because I was at a funeral for one of my relatives in my family, my Uncle Joe. We're obviously rest in peace to him. And it was really sad. But to the very next day is when I found out the news on that Sunday, and it's just like, you just really be here today and gone tomorrow. But for what the Mamba mentality means to me, man, is just being obsessed with greatness, being committed to progress, taking the sacrifices to be great, understanding what comes with being great, understand once you're in that moment or in that zone, to recognize that you're there, and to really have the self-discipline to keep going, to not take yourself out of it, to to challenge others to be great as well. And I think that's what he did. Like when he stepped out on the court, he was a killer, man. And I think what we see from the new era of ballers today is that they want to carry on his legacy. So they want to come out and they want to honor him by competing at the very highest level, because it's really about winning. Kobe wanted to win. You don't do this. This is your job. This is your profession. So I think with anything in life, when it comes to basketball, if it comes to a career, like a lawyer or whatever, you want to be committed to being the best version of yourself that you can be. So how I carry myself moving on forward, I just want to keep that Mamba mentality, not make excuses, when times get hard, because like they say, tough times don't last, tough people do. I just want to not, I want his legacy to live on, and I don't just want it to be something that we talk about for a few weeks and then, just stop doing the things that he was preaching this entire time. That's really important for me. So for me to continue to honor his legacy is, just by being more focused, more driven, more than I have been currently. I'm sorry I've been on a little hiatus from y'all recently. I've just been dealing with a lot, man. This whole month of January really felt like a whole year in itself. It's been so crazy. So, like I said before, I look at January as the trial month. So we just about to start over in February. But man, just make this a good year. Whatever goals that you have, write it down. Make a list of it. Check it off as you go along. Whatever dreams you have, put it into existence. You know, make it a goal to happen. A goal without a plan is a wish. So, like, we all should be trying to carry on his legacy. We all should inspire to have that Mamba mentality, to be driven in whatever profession that we do each and every day. Be committed to that. Excel beyond. Raise the bar. Because Kobe was the bar. Kim coming into the league, Jordan and all these guys, like, they were the bar, like, and he raised it, and he wanted to continue to raise that level of competition, bring out the best in everyone around him. So that's really what I'm getting at right now, and trying to tell you guys, and even for myself, really, to just be more committed, be more driven. But R.I.P Kobe, R.I.P to Gianna. It was really so sad, just because she was a blossoming young star, man, like only 13 years old. She really had her whole life ahead of her, and was really going to carry on his legacy, I felt, and it was going to do a magnificent job at it too. So it's really tough to think about even a week later, reflecting back on it. But we have to press on. We have to keep living and carry on his legacy and those principles that he taught us. What I want to shift to now is kind of more of a lighter subject, in a sense, because the Super Bowl just happened. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. I was actually rooting for Pat Mahomes. Just because Andy Reid deserved it as well. They needed it for sure. Sorry to all the 49er fans. But really good game to watch. I enjoyed it. But really got some good things coming up. Man, we are going to be doing, I'm going to be doing my second video for the channel, and that'll be centered around more of an anime type theme. We'll be discussing some different anime, favorite characters, who my favorite character is from my favorite series, of course, and then just to kind of gauge, my for a different audience, and have you guys relate to me on that level, and just kind of figure out that side of who I am. I'm just excited for this new year. I'm actually testing out my new mic that I got, so I will no longer be recording on the standard how I was doing it before. Just trying to improve my quality and get my presentation better for you guys, to make this more enjoyable, to make this a more relatable experience. You guys can keep up and follow me and stay up to date with the things that I'm putting out. So I think as being a content creator, we have to perfect our craft and be more diligent in that, and just be more driven, man, and not take any days off. That's what I had to tell myself, put myself on a different sleep regimen, whether I'm sleeping less, or make sure I'm getting the adequate sleep, but not wasting the hours in the day that I have, maximizing that time. it's been a lot, man. But I guess really where my head has been at, uh, specifically in this stage or this time of the year, where I've been at, kind of been in a little bit of a rut, trying to, get myself stable back to stability wise and the aspects of my life. Um, I won't go too in depth with it, but just trying to push through those difficult times and keep a positive perspective on it, knowing that eventually, it's going to pick up, it's going to change, and I'm confident in that. No doubt in my mind about it. I was talking to my girl the other day, and usually, when we all going through something, we usually don't want to show our emotions. We don't want to show our hand. We don't want to let people know that we're struggling. We're so prideful. Humans are so prideful. Specifically with social media, is we only let you see what we want you to see. But, even when I'm going through shit, you won't even see me on social media half the time. Just because sometimes it can be a distraction. Really, you could look at things on there and it affects you, and not always in a positive way. You're just seeing things and you start comparing yourself to other people, and judging where you're at, your life, based on where they're at. I mean, we're on all completely different paths. We may just all end up eventually, adjoining and meeting each other along our own paths, but we're all going in completely different directions. So, I just hope that, the decisions that I make now will benefit me moving forward, and have some things in line. I know I don't want to, let light on that too early, but, I'm optimistic. So it's Black History Month, though. So I do want to talk about that. Black History Month has arrived, and I think as Black people, as a culture, I really think we need to focus on trying to uplift one another, because I feel like as in the Black community, we don't necessarily show a lot of love to our own, whether it be Black businesses or Black entrepreneurs, people just trying to make it, man. And that's really all of us are trying to do, is make it. And whether that's producing music, art, clothes, anything, man, like there's always someone that's hating on the next person, and I cannot for the life of me figure out why. So it's like, why hate on the success of your fellow man, of your own people? And the only people that are really hating on success are the people that are not trying to obtain it themselves. And why should you be so caught up in that? Like we really focus so much on killing each other, bringing down one another, when in fact it's the white man that's doing it for us, man. Like, and we don't even realize it. And we already dealt a bad hand to start out, just from our environments, our upbringings, our circumstances. Like, we have to overcome so much to be where they are, and we have to work twice as hard to get there, if not harder. And when you think about that, especially, it's the same for Black women. We really, as Black men, we try to shame the Black woman, try to put the Black woman down or whatever it is. But we have to love one another, upbring one another, combat everything with love. No one really wants to talk about that, because they say, "Oh, you're really be on some soft shit," as my niggas would say. But it's the God honest truth. Like, we have to combat everything with love, understanding, empathy, compassion. We have to be willing to open up, our minds and our hearts, and to be able to empathize with the next person, to understand and people think turning the other cheek is always considered being soft or letting people get away with something. But I think there's a way to address the elephant in the room without things turning hostile. But I think you have to come from a good place, and I think it's all about delivery. I think we need to challenge our fellow people to be better than what we've shown. So if you have a friend group, loved ones, whatever the case may be, who you feel like could be doing better than what they've done, you need to address that. You need to push them, and you should expect the same in return. We have to push each other. We can't afford to slack off. We can't afford to be lazy. We have to keep paving the way for the next generation and the generation after that, and show them that there is a way out of this, that you don't have to grow up in Section 8 housing, or you won't have a life where it's just always violence and drugs and instability, and everything is a volatile situation around you. Like, I can only imagine growing up in that situation, because for me, I feel like I was so blessed because I had stability, because I had both my parents. And being a black man, that stigma, having both of your parents, was almost unheard of. So that was something I just truly don't take for granted. And I understand how fortunate I am to have the parents that I do. So when I look at other people's situations, it does hurt me. When I got to college, I seen people from different backgrounds and other people struggle, differently than what you've done. So I try to keep that perspective, when I feel any type of way towards anyone. So, but I also think, it still falls on your mentality and you taking accountability for what you can control, and believing that you can come out on the other side as a success story. Everyone has unlimited potential, but you put a cap on it when you doubt yourself or just don't have any faith. It all starts with the faith. So just don't lose that. Whatever, and like for this Black History Month, I would just say we must keep the faith in God. We must try to uplift one another. We must encourage one another, inspire one another, really push and drive one another to be better than what we are today. Strive for greatness. Keep the Mamba mentality. Don't ever lose it. Don't ever lose the focus. Don't ever lose the drive. Well, whatever it is, just we press on. We put one foot in front of the other and we press on. And as a race, as Black people, we swallow trauma more than anybody else. I feel like, just from what we have dealt with in the past. All of us suffer from mental health, but we don't want to talk about that shit. We don't want to open up about what we deal with on a daily basis, what goes through our minds, what goes through our hearts. Like, we struggle mentally. We deal with a lot mentally. It's physically draining. It's detrimental to us in the long run. But in Black households, they want to say, oh, well, you're not depressed, or you're not this, or you don't have anxiety or anything like that. I mean, it's just not true. Like, yeah, we give off the facade of being strong or appearing to be physically and mentally strong, but deep down inside, we are all screaming out. It's like a SOS, but we don't know how to say anything just because we're too prideful. So for this month, for this year, just try to uplift each other. Combat things with love, combat things with understanding, combat things with empathy. Continue to try to uplift one another. I'm really happy I was able to try to get this pod out for you guys. There's going to be more content coming soon. Like I said, I love you guys. for the ones that been here for me since day one. And we gonna continue this journey, y'all. I love y'all though. I'm JG, and I'll see you guys on the next one.